What's up, guys? Ready to turn up the heat in your conversations? Today, we're diving into the art of asking questions that not only spark interest, but also ignite a deeper sexual attraction. I'm going to share with you some sexy questions that can make a woman think about you in a whole new way. These aren't just any questions. They're carefully crafted to stir emotions and build tension. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to engage her on a level that few men know how to reach. Are you ready to leave her eagerly anticipating your next words? Before we continue, if your love life could use some strategic advice, why not book a free 60-minute session with one of our experts? Find the link in the description or pinned comment. Now let's dive in. 1. Do you prefer to make the first move, or shall I? Alright, let's kick things off with a classic. The first move dilemma. Some girls love taking the reins, while others prefer a guy who's not afraid to take charge. Asking her straight up which she prefers not only shows you're confident enough to broach the subject, but it also gives you a roadmap for how to proceed. If she says she likes making the first move, you know you can sit back and let her work her magic. Flirt, banter, and build that tension, but let her be the one to lean in for the kiss or suggest taking things further. On the other hand, if she admits she's more into a guy taking the lead, that's your cue to step up to the plate. Start with small gestures, a hand on the small of her back, a lingering touch on her arm. If she's receptive, you can gradually amp things up until the moment feels right to go in for the kiss. The key here is not to make assumptions based on stereotypes or past experiences. Every girl is different, and by asking her directly, you show that you're interested in her specific preferences. Plus, it opens the door for a flirty conversation about turn-ons and dating dynamics. Always a win in my book. 2. What's your secret move to turn someone on? Next up, let's talk about signature seduction techniques. We've all got that one move that never fails to get the object of our affection hot and bothered. Asking her about hers not only gives you valuable intel, but it also opens up a playful, sexy dialogue that's sure to get you both in the mood. Maybe she's a master of the coy glance across the room, the kind that makes you feel like you're the only two people in the world. Or perhaps she's got a way of whispering in your ear that sends shivers down your spine. Whatever her secret weapon may be, showing genuine interest in it is sure to score you major points. And don't be afraid to share your own signature move in return. This is a great opportunity to show off your flirting skills and build some anticipation for future encounters. Just make sure to keep things classy and consensual. 3. Do you like it slow or a bit more intense? Okay, time to turn up the heat a bit. Asking her about her preferred pace in the bedroom is a great way to gauge her sexual style and make sure you're on the same page when things start getting steamy. Some girls are all about the slow burn, the teasing, the anticipation, the gradual build-up. They want to savor every moment and make the payoff that much sweeter. If that's her vibe, take your time with foreplay, drawing out each touch and kiss until she's practically begging for more. On the flip side, some girls crave intensity and passion right from the start. They want to be swept off their feet, consumed by desire, and ravished with abandon. If that's more her speed, don't be afraid to amp up the urgency and let your hunger for her show. Of course, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's all about personal preference. The key is to listen to her response and adapt accordingly. And remember, just because she likes it one way sometimes, doesn't mean that's her preference all the time. Variety is the spice of life, so be open to switching things up and trying new speeds and intensities as your relationship evolves. 4. Have you ever had a naughty dream about someone you know? Now let's dive into the world of fantasy for a bit. Asking her about any steamy dreams she's had about people in her real life is a playful way to get a glimpse into her subconscious desires, and maybe even spark some new ones. The beauty of dreams is that they're a safe space to explore our deepest, most secret turn-ons without any real-world consequences. Maybe she's had a recurring dream about a coworker bending her over the office desk, or a longtime friend suddenly sweeping her off her feet. Sharing these intimate details with you is a sign of trust and vulnerability, so make sure to receive them with an open mind and zero judgment. And who knows, maybe hearing about her naughty dreams will inspire some fantasies of your own. Don't be afraid to share them with her in return, as long as you keep things hypothetical and respectful. This kind of playful, imaginative banter is a great way to build sexual tension and keep things exciting, even if you're not quite ready to act on your desires in real life. Liking what you're hearing? Hit the like button and drop a comment. And if you're curious about taking your dating skills further, our free strategy call can help you learn to meet more women and date with confidence. Click on the link in the pinned comment to find out more. 5. What are your thoughts on public displays of affection? Next up, let's talk about PDA. Some couples are all about the hand-holding, the stolen kisses, the not-so-subtle groping in public places. Others prefer to keep things strictly behind closed doors. Asking for her take on public displays of affection is a great way to gauge her comfort level and make sure you're respecting her boundaries. If she's all for a little exhibitionism, that opens up a world of possibilities for flirting and foreplay outside the bedroom. You can steal kisses in the park, play footsie under the restaurant table, or even sneak off for a little something more. On the other hand, if she's more reserved about PDA, it's important to respect that and find other ways to show your affection. Maybe that means saving the makeout sessions for when you're alone, but finding little ways to connect throughout the day. A squeeze of the hand, a whispered, "I love you," a sexy text when no one's looking. Ultimately, the key is to find a level of public affection that feels comfortable and authentic for both of you. It's not about putting on a show for others or adhering to some arbitrary standard of coupledom. It's about expressing your genuine connection in a way that feels good and right for you both. 6. Do you find it more thrilling to chase or be chased? The age-old question. Is it better to be the pursuer or the pursued? Some people get a rush from the thrill of the chase, the challenge of winning someone over and making them fall for you. Others prefer the exhilaration of being desired, of knowing that someone wants you so badly they'll do anything to have you. Asking your girl which side of the equation she falls on can give you valuable insight into her dating style and what gets her excited. If she's more of a chaser, that means you can play a little hard to get, teasing her with glimpses of your interest, but making her work for your full attention. Create a sense of challenge and competition, and watch her rise to the occasion. If she prefers to be chased, on the other hand, that's your cue to step up your pursuit. Make her feel like the most desirable woman in the world, like you can't get enough of her, and you'll stop at nothing to win her over. Shower her with compliments, surprise her with thoughtful gestures, and make it clear that you're not going anywhere until she's yours. Of course, as with all things in dating, balance is key. You don't want to come on too strong or play too hard to get, lest you risk turning her off entirely. Pay attention to her reactions and adjust your approach accordingly, always prioritizing respect and consent above all else. 7. What's something you find incredibly sexy that you wish more people knew about? Now here's a question that's sure to reveal some fascinating insights into your girl's unique turn-ons. We all have those little quirks or preferences that drive us wild, but that might not be obvious to the outside world. Asking her to share one of hers is a great way to show that you're interested in getting to know her on a deeper level, and that you're open to exploring new ways to please her. Maybe she goes crazy for a guy who's passionate about his hobbies, or who has a hidden talent for cooking or playing an instrument. Maybe she finds intelligence or a sharp wit to be the ultimate aphrodisiac, or she can't resist a man who's confident enough to rock a bold fashion choice. Whatever her answer may be, the key is to listen attentively and show genuine enthusiasm for her perspective. Ask follow-up questions, share your own thoughts and experiences, and look for ways to incorporate her turn-ons into your own behavior and interactions. And don't be afraid to get a little vulnerable in return. Sharing your own lesser-known turn-ons can be a great way to build intimacy and trust, and to give her a roadmap for driving you wild in return. Just remember, the goal here isn't to change who you are to fit some mold of her perfect partner. It's about appreciating and celebrating each other's unique desires, and finding ways to honor them in a way that feels authentic and meaningful to you both. 8. What kind of touch sends shivers down your spine? Touch is such a powerful tool for building intimacy and stoking desire, but everyone's preferences are a little different. Some people crave a firm, confident touch, while others melt under the lightest, most teasing caress. Asking your girl what kind of touch really sets her nerve endings on fire is a great way to up your foreplay game and make sure you're hitting all the right buttons. Maybe she goes wild for a gentle nibble on her earlobe, or a trail of kisses down the back of her neck. Maybe she craves the feeling of your hands running through her hair, or your fingers tracing patterns on the inside of her thigh. As she shares her favorite touches, pay close attention not just to the specifics of the act, but to the way she describes it. Does she use words like gentle, teasing, firm, or urgent? These clues can give you insight into the overall pace and intensity she craves, and help you tailor your touch to her unique desires. And of course, don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. Just because she hasn't mentioned a particular type of touch doesn't mean she won't love it. As long as you're starting slow, paying attention to her reactions, and prioritizing her comfort and consent, there's no limit to the ways you can drive each other wild with just your hands and lips. 9. What's the riskiest place you've ever felt the urge to kiss someone? Who doesn't love a little bit of danger? There's something about the thrill of getting caught that can make even the most innocent kiss feel electric. Asking your girl about the riskiest place she's ever wanted to lock lips is a great way to tap into that sense of excitement and adventure. and maybe even inspire some daring rendezvous of your own. Maybe it was in a crowded elevator with strangers pressed in on all sides. Maybe it was in a quiet corner of a library or bookstore, surrounded by the musty scent of old pages. Or maybe it was somewhere truly public, like on a busy street corner or in the middle of a crowded party. As she shares her story, pay attention to the details that seem to excite her most. Is it the thrill of potentially getting caught, or the naughtiness of doing something taboo? Is it the romance of stealing a secret moment in an unexpected place, or the adrenaline rush of throwing caution to the wind? Use these clues to brainstorm your own risky kiss locations, and see if you can make some of her fantasies come true, within reason, of course. Just remember to always prioritize consent, safety, and respect for others. A sexy moment isn't worth jeopardizing your well-being or someone else's comfort. And who knows, maybe sharing your own risky kiss stories will spark some new fantasies and desires you never even knew you had. 10. Is there a movie scene you find incredibly sexy? Sometimes the hottest moments happen on the big screen. Whether it's a classic Hollywood romance or a steamy indie flick, the movies have a way of tapping into our deepest desires and sparking our imaginations in a way that real life sometimes can't. Asking your girl about her favorite sexy movie scene is a great way to get a glimpse into her cinematic turn-ons, and maybe even inspire some roleplay or reenactment down the line. Maybe it's the iconic pottery scene from Ghost, with its sensual combination of artistry and intimacy. Maybe it's the playful, flirtatious banter of a classic screwball comedy, or the smoldering intensity of a noir thriller. Or maybe it's something more explicit, like the boundary-pushing sex scenes of an art house film, or the campy, over-the-top seduction of a trashy romance novel adaptation. Whatever her answer may be, use it as a jumping-off point for a deeper conversation about what exactly makes that scene so hot for her. Is it the chemistry between the actors, the buildup of tension and anticipation, or the raw physicality of the act itself? Does she imagine herself in the scene, or does she prefer to watch from a distance? As you explore her cinematic fantasies together, look for ways to bring a little movie magic into your own relationship. Maybe that means recreating a particularly steamy moment, or borrowing some dialogue for your own flirtatious banter. Or maybe it just means cuddling up together for a hot and heavy movie marathon, and seeing where the night takes you. 11. What type of flirting makes you weak in the knees? Last but not least, let's talk about the art of flirtation. We all have our own style when it comes to charming and wooing a potential partner, but knowing what really works for your girl can help you take your game to the next level. Whether she's a sucker for cheesy pickup lines or a master of the subtle come-hither glance, understanding her flirting preferences can help you push all the right buttons and leave her weak in the knees. Maybe she loves a bold, direct approach, with plenty of compliments and suggestive comments. Or maybe she prefers a more understated, intellectual kind of flirting, with witty banter and playful teasing. Some girls go crazy for physical flirtation, like accidentally brushing up against you or finding excuses to touch your arm or shoulder. Others are all about the digital age, with sexy texts and suggestive snaps that build anticipation throughout the day. As she shares her flirting favorites, take mental notes and look for ways to incorporate them into your own repertoire. Challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone and try a new approach, even if it feels a little silly or awkward at first. The more you practice, the more natural it will start to feel, and the more irresistible you'll become. And there you have it. So what's next for you? Discover the truth about ignoring women to build attraction, or learn the signs she thinks you're a sexually attractive guy.